Hi, good afternoon once again. The Guyanese Critic is coming to you live from the Essequibo Coast. This time I'm coming to you from Sodi, and I have with me the Minister of Health, who is going to be giving us a little background as to what's going on here. The Minister of Health is on the ground here, and we're just outside of the Sodi hospital compound, and the President, the Minister is waiting for the President to come, where there will be a salt turning. And if you look just behind us, they got a little half of a secret hiding up there, because this is what the President and the Minister himself are going to be unveiling. What we're going to do, since we have this opportunity, is ask the Minister, since you would have known that most of the viewers would know that today the President, and by extension Cabinet, is on the ground in Region 2, across Region 2, across all communities. And I'm going to ask the Health Minister what he did today and how he feels he's progressing and his government is progressing with these kind of outreaches and on the ground interactions with the citizens. Minister, once again, thank you for this opportunity. And as I would have just told the people want to know, how has this been working out? You meeting the people, interacting with the people, the President using an approach of basically boots on the ground to ensure that his administration understands the people's needs. Can you tell me what you did today, because I know different ministers went to different locations, what you did today and how fruitful do you think that is? And then we're going to go to what basically is going on here now.
Well, a couple of things. This morning when we came in, myself, Minister Manichan, Minister Indar, Minister Ramesh Wardran, we were on the television talking and we spoke about our sectors, but we also spoke about the larger plans that the government has in place to modernize the country, and in particular this region, some of the big projects that we have in this region. So I think that was a very fruitful engagement, and I think anyone who would have listened to the program would get a more in-depth sense of some of these sectors, the ministers who were there. After that, I came down and I had two meetings so far. One was at Walton Hall, and that's a meeting more with people living in the community, and they use the opportunity to explain to me some of the challenges that they have within the community. They're a farming community, so some of the things that they raise include, how we can improve the lives of the farmers. For example, issues like drying floor, issues like roads, dams, how to make them better so that when people got to use these to go in the back dam, that they can have a better road to go out in the back dam. So I think those were very pertinent issues. And then I went to Windsor Castle and again met with a number of residents there and had another set of fruitful engagement. So what is very, very interesting is that most of the people that I've met so far, excepting one, they're all vaccinated. And they all recognize the benefits of vaccination, because I use some of the time to also talk to them about that. And they have said to me that now that they understand what is happening with unvaccinated people, that they're going to make a special effort to reach out to other persons who they know in their community that have not taken the vaccine to be able to go out and get the vaccine. So I think the engagements that I have had so far has been extremely fruitful. Very good interaction. People are happy that we are on the ground. And this is part of how the PPP Civic has been doing its business. It's not just about staying in some office in Georgetown, but it's being with the people, understanding challenges, and then crafting policies and crafting plans that can address the real needs of real people. So this is nothing fictitious or whatever, or there's some way and we think we know what are the challenges people are facing. We are on the ground, working with people, understanding their issues, and then trying to find solutions to some of those challenges. So very good experience.
Minister, as we speak, the president is coming from Supanam. He's on his way here. Can you tell us what we can expect here today at Sadi?
So here, one of the things that we have been working on, and the president has been very instrumental in this, he has had engagements with the Indian government to move this particular project forward. And so we have 3 hospitals that would be funded by the Indian government, and they are West Demerara, Sadi and Bartica. We have already brought in the architects. So the architects were in Guyana about 3 weeks ago. They are now completing the architectural design for these hospitals. They came to each one of the sites, look at the location, give us options, and we had to choose which one of the options we would like to have. And so work has already started. And so today what we will be doing is unveiling, or turning the sod and unveiling maybe a graphic representation of what this new Sadi hospital would look like. When we complete it in another couple of years, it would have expanded facilities which include imaging. As you know, on the coast here, you can only get x-rays. So we want to expand the suite of imaging services that you can get, including CT scan. We want to extend the types of theaters that you would have here on the coast. So a lot of specialized surgeries and so can be done right here. We'll expand the laboratories that we have at this new hospital. So there are a whole host of things that would be happening here. And of course the new wards and so would create better comfort for the patients who will be coming in to this particular facility. So it's quite an exciting project, and you know, we want to get this done because we recognize how this is going to improve the lives of ordinary people here in this country.
Minister, this is very interesting. It sounds interesting, and I'm thinking the citizens of Guyana are going to be very anxious for this to happen. Unveil hospitals, specialty hospitals, or hospitals similarly, or having capabilities like specialty hospitals across the country. But still, our major like Georgetown hospitals have been found wanting. There are things needed to be done there. Are the efforts to develop, like this is going to be a brand new hospital here, are the efforts to develop going to be widespread, whereas health care itself across Guyana is dealt with holistically?
It is our plan to be holistic, and as we speak right now, we have been, as you know, we have completed recently the Diamond Hospital. So we have completed that, and now we're about to complete the hospital at Lenora. We have started that project a couple months ago, so we're near finalization. We have one that is ongoing at Mabaruma, one in Lepen. All this was done under the PPP. Started these projects, and within a year, we are changing these structures, making sure that they're more energy efficient, making sure that when people come in, they get better service and so forth. So 4 hospitals, almost to completion. In another couple of months, we'll start opening them up and opening up the new services that are there. In addition to that, I mentioned the 3 that are under the Indian grant, and we have some others that we are working on now and trying to secure funding for them. So indeed, the infrastructure hospital development is one that is across the country, across the board, to improve the facilities and to make sure that Guyanese in any one of the regions will have good access to healthcare. And complementing what we are doing with the infrastructure is to make sure that we have the right equipment, making sure that we train enough personnel so that these facilities can be properly run. And so there are other ongoing things that we'll be doing.
Minister, being a democracy has checks and balances. Transparency is important. Just moments ago, I was covering the president, and a citizen came up. She presented herself as a pensioner. She presented herself as a retired medic, and she also is a anti-vax individual. Worrying. How does your ministry now, with the insight that you have, how people are using political means to create instability, you have to deal, how do you deal with having an organization or being the head of an organization that some people are not in tune with the best interests of the citizen? You have persons still today aware, working in an organization that see people die every day and continue to have disbeliefs in a vaccination process that is not, it's not to Guyana, it is across the world. It is a process that governments are trying to reach a certain level of vaccination to ensure that communities can open back and the safety of their citizens. How does your ministry deal with, again, citizens who are not in tune, for a better word to use, or a soft touch to put, not in tune with the general need to educate the citizens and get vaccinated?
So here's the thing. Right now, about 65% of our adult population already received their first dose of the vaccine. In some regions, it's as much as 70-something percent. So there are people that are coming forward getting their vaccines because they understand that this is important. We can only offer the education part of it. So we have done a lot of education work. We have been going out explaining to people not just the importance of getting vaccinated, but also how vaccines work, and whatever the myths that people have been harboring, trying to dispel those myths. Unfortunately, there are still some people who hold on to all kinds of misconceptions about vaccines. It is going to be harder to break those things out of people's mind, and but nevertheless we have to work. Now we have a real situation. We have in Guyana right now what I call a Delta surge, meaning that you have more cases of people getting positive with COVID, and that's because of the Delta variant. And because of the increased transmissibility of this particular strain of the virus, what we are seeing is more people are going to get sick, more people are going to get into the hospital, and if more people come into the hospital, then we'll have challenges in terms of how we manage them. As we speak today, we have about 125 persons who are in hospitals across the country. We have about 90-something persons who are at Ocean View, and we have about 36 persons who are in the ICU. We have expanded the ICU to accommodate more patients. We have bought more equipment so that we can take care of more patients. We have also added additional capacity to be able to give people oxygen if it's necessary. And so all of that has been expanded, and we are continuously working on this. The challenge though is that we have seen when people come into the hospital, if they're not vaccinated, they are going to get the more severe form of the infection. We have seen that. We continue to see that. And unfortunately, those who are unvaccinated, we are seeing most of the deaths that we are having now from COVID are from unvaccinated persons. Over the last 24 hours, we've had 10 deaths at the COVID hospital. None of those persons who died had any vaccine. So the point is, if people are not looking at what is happening before them, if they are not seeing that and try to draw some conclusion from that and go and look after themselves, then it's hard to rationalize with those persons. We have seen persons, excepting there were 2 patients who had all kinds of comorbidities and had very poor prognosis to begin with. Those two patients, although they were vaccinated, they died from COVID, or they died with comorbidities and COVID. So the outcome for those patients were very poor to begin with. But outside of that, almost all the persons who have died so far are unvaccinated.
Minister, for clarity, just cutting you there for clarity, and for the end user to understand, and that's, I think that's our problem sometimes, how we process the information. Since Guyana recognized COVID, people have been dying.
Right.
5, 6. In the last 24 hours, 10 persons died.
Yes.
Since this process, which has led to hundreds of COVID deaths, only 2 persons that were vaccinated died from having COVID and died from complications as a result of the effects of COVID on their body. 2 persons.
Yeah.
Since COVID has been recognized in Guyana and the pandemic in the world.
Right.
And only in the last 24 hours, 10 unvaccinated persons have died from COVID.
Right.
So that is very glaring facts. Minister, do you want to make a special plea to the citizens as it relates to this? I know you're explaining over and over, but there's never enough. I am vaccinated.
Right.
You are vaccinated. Everybody here is vaccinated.
Yeah.
And so to speak, we are the preachers of vaccination, but we are not preaching a cause or a method that we have not used ourselves.
Exactly.
Do you want to make a plea to the citizens?
Well, you know, we just want to encourage everybody to get their vaccines, because we know that vaccines are safe, they're effective, they work, and if you get both doses of your vaccines, it is going to protect you from getting the most severe form of the disease, and it can prevent you from dying from COVID-19. So we really want to get that message to you, because in Guyana we are fortunate enough, we have at least 4 different types of vaccines that we're using with the adult population. So you have a choice. You can pick any one that you want. We have AstraZeneca, we have Sinopharm, we have the Sputnik V, and we have the J&J vaccine, or Johnson & Johnson vaccine. All 4 of these we're using with the adult population. We have enough, so you can come to any one of the 100 fixed sites that we have across this country, and you can get vaccinated. The other thing, we have started the vaccination for the Pfizer vaccine for children between the ages of 12 to 18. And again, we have we have doses for 74,000 children. So within this age cohort of 12 to 18, anybody who falls within that age cohort, we have a vaccine for you. So far, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, we have been able to go out to schools, and we have been getting a lot of people coming and getting the vaccine. And I want to encourage parents to continue doing so, because that is a very important thing to do.
So, Minister, on that point, just on point, the President rolls in, and thank you again, Minister. So for those of you who've just tuned into the Guyanese Critic Live, the Guyanese Critic is coming to you from Sodi. I was just talking to the Minister of Health, and we are now going to go on the arrival of the President. So the President is going to be doing basically a turning here, and he's going to be talking to a few residents and the healthcare professionals. This is the compound of the health sector in this area. This is the compound. So guys, just updating you guys what's going on here. The Guyanese Critic is coming to you live from Sodi, and we are in the hospital compound. Just behind me sits the president, a number of cabinet ministers. Here is the head of the army, the head of the Guyana Police Force, the commissioner of police, who actually happens to be the chief immigration officer also. The president is on the ground, and there is a finance minister, minister within the Ministry of Infrastructure. There's a number of ministers that are moving with the president. The president just came from Supanam, where he was listening to the concerns of residents. And now the president is going to be introduced, and we are going to hear what the president has to say.
Honorable Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Minister Nigel Danlop, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Minister of Finance, Member of Parliament, Senior Official of Government, Regional Official, a pleasant afternoon. It is indeed a great pleasure this afternoon for us to have His Excellency in assisting us in this region to make sure that we uplift the services and care for the people here in Region 2 to have better health facility and a modernized one as well. Without any further this afternoon, colleagues, I'll invite the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, to give his remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ranjit, the Regional Health Officer for Region 2, His Excellency President Dr. Irfan Ali, colleagues, ministers, regional officials, staff of the Sodi Regional Hospital, ladies and gentlemen, friends all. We are extremely pleased to have His Excellency with us this afternoon as we turn the sod to reveal one of the projects, one of the major or flagship projects for the Essequibo Coast. As you know, one of the things that the PPP civic government, when it came to office, it wanted to do was to modernize the health sector, to make sure that we improve the infrastructure across the country so that persons coming to the hospitals run by the government, that they can come to these hospitals and have better services. The ambience of the hospital must be one that is modern, that will promote healing, and that was the directive that was given by His Excellency when we met to review how we are going to modernize the infrastructure across this country. We started out, despite COVID and the challenges that we are having with COVID, we did not ignore looking at other areas in the health sector. And so immediately we start working on modernizing the district hospitals. And right now we're working on 5 of those. We have completed the Diamond District Hospital. We have started, and we are going to finish very shortly, the Lenora District Hospital, the Mabaruma District Hospital, and the Lethem Hospital. And we are also in the process of starting the Paramakatoy Health Center. And at the same time, we have also started working on these facilities, like the West End Regional Hospital, Sodi and Barkika. Now these hospitals are going to be funded by the Indian government under a soft loan that we'll be getting. And when we came to office, we had to literally go and negotiate these things, get this moving. And I see the Minister of Finance is looking at me very, because it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work to start getting these projects moving. And within a very, very short period of time, we have been able to meet all the benchmarks that were set by the Exim Bank of India and other partners to be able to get to this point. But more than that,
More than that. About 3 weeks ago, we had a team that came in from India. And that team went and visited each of the hospital sites. They were at West Demerara. They came here to study, and they went up to Bartica. And based on what they saw on the ground, they have given us several options of what we can do. And at Sodi, they have proposed a structure that we can build here. And so we have taken that advice, and we'll be moving ahead with the construction of this hospital right here. So we are extremely pleased, and I know that with this facility, it is going to transform the way that we do healthcare in this region. Just for 1 minute, imagine this. To get an X-ray on the coast is sometimes a very difficult thing. This hospital will not only have an X-ray machine, it would also have a CT scan, so that you can get CT scans and everything right here when this hospital is finished. Isn't that awesome? So you don't have to go and travel all the way to Georgetown to go and get a CT scan. It would be done right here. Our laboratory services would be drastically improved because, again, with the lab services, sometimes you got a particular test that you need to do, you can't get it done here. And so with the new modernized lab that we'll be putting in, you'll be able to do those types of services right here. And then when we look at the theaters that you have, there's always a challenge. You know, in the last couple of months, I've been hearing all kinds of complaints about what is happening, what is not happening, the challenges that you face. And so one of the things that would be in this new hospital, which we are designing with the help of the doctors and the people who are right here, is to put new theater facilities, new recovery areas, new ICUs and all of that, so that when people need these types of services, they'll come to a really modern facility where all of this is going to be offered. And of course, we have started to deploy specialized doctors with specialized skills. So it's no longer having just GMOs, but we also want to have consultants in these various areas. And we have started to do that, and we are going to continue to do that to make sure that we have the requisite types of skills in the hospital. And so when this new facility is built, that we'll have all the people capable of doing the surgeries and all the other things that we want to have done here. And even if you don't have those persons, we'll be able to send teams that will come here and perform certain surgeries for you. So I think this is the trajectory of growth that the President has been speaking of in almost all the sectors, and we are just trying to fulfill that vision in health, and you'll see that roll out over the next coming months and over the next coming years. So we are very, very pleased today that His Excellency can join us so that we can launch this project, and we are confident that once we do that in the next couple of months, we will start the construction of this new hospital here in the Sodi Hospital compound. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that detailed presentation. Enlighten us on some of the transformative projects that will happen here in Region 2. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to present to you this afternoon a vibrant, energetic, and most of all, hardworking. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all stand to welcome His Excellency the President, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. First of all, let me thank you for your patience. I know we were supposed to be here a bit earlier, but as you know, we are on a 2-day outreach. We started at 6 a.m. this morning. We already had a technical meeting, cabinet meeting, joint technical cabinet meeting. We had the meetings in the communities. I still have a few more meetings this evening, and then sometime tonight we'll have a cabinet meeting. And that is to review all the issues and our commitment, which we're going to put in a spreadsheet. And we're going to post those issues and commitment that we have made on every public building in NDCs in the region, so you can hold us accountable, and we will show you how transparent we are in delivering to the people of this region and to Guyana as a whole. Let me say to you that I'm very pleased so far on this outreach, Dr. Anthony. We have had a pleasant surprise in that issues of drug shortages and issues that normally dominate a cabinet outreach in the type of service from healthcare did not pop up. This is not to say that this is not to say that there are not no issues. We have issues that we have to deal with. But what is happening today is part of a national architecture of modernization of the healthcare system. We're not talking only about the healthcare system that provides health services to people. We're talking about the healthcare system that provides health education. Our first battle in healthcare is health education, and that is at the level of primary healthcare, preventative care. So you will see Dr. Anthony and the ministry launching very shortly an aggressive education campaign. That's the first thing. The second thing is to ensure that our primary healthcare facilities are equipped and they can provide the services necessary to meet the expectations of the people. The third pillar is our educational facilities, to ensure that we build the capacity locally, to train nurses, medics, midwives, and to ensure also that we can have specialized training done here. We are, and the ministry right now is in very high level discussions with the high end of the health business. We're talking about the high end of health business. We're now drafting the organ transplant legislation. We're talking about stem cell. We're talking about the high end. So we're working from the most modern, whilst we're bridging the gap to get to the most modern. So those discussions are taking place, and I'm very confident that they will bring forth great fruit in a very short possible time. We're also working on making Guyana a health destination for medical studies and medical services. That is a very important part of the pillar. To do this, we have to support private health care. So we're giving incentives for private health care. We want private health care to be stronger, to be better, to be more efficient, to be more cost effective, to be more affordable. And that is what we're doing. We're investing more to ensure that private health care can also step up. And we're seeing great things from the private sector. We have a number of proposals for new hospitals partnering with huge facilities from North America and other places. And that is at the private level. And here today, we are part of a process that will see not only a new building, but 250 plus beds here in Region 2. It will see an ICU, a complete ICU in this hospital here in Region 2. This is an investment of more than $2 billion. And we are very, very confident that this will add great value to the healthcare system here in Region 2. More importantly, this will be like a network. We are creating a network in the region. The riverine areas, the small communities, the satellite communities will be networked into this facility. So as time goes by, you will see all the health clinics, outposts, regional hospitals will be equipped more and more with higher level of service. And that will be integrated into the national healthcare delivery system. We are also working on a one person, one card health system. That's a health information system, or some people call it a patient information management system. Now, that's so if you are, once you're a Guyanese in the healthcare system, you get a card with all your medical history, That card will have all the updates. So if you are in Essequibo and you feel unwell, you go into the hospital, they plug your card, you have a unique code, you give it to them, and your whole health history comes up. So this is the type of innovation and modernization we're talking about in the healthcare system. Of course, this will complement also what we're doing. We're now trying to finalize arrangement for a 200 to 250 bed state-of-the-art children and maternity hospital in Georgetown. So that is on the cards also. It's a massive investment that we will be making. We are also looking at proposals in terms of cancer research, cancer treatment, seeing whether we can mobilize resources to create a hub here. These are some of the things. We promised this in our manifesto, that we're going to use the resources to give the people of Guyana and the people of the region, CARICOM, because we're part of a region, the best possible opportunity for world-class healthcare and world-class education services. Today we're very pleased also to announce that in our technical meeting, we were told that you need 35 nurses and midwives. We asked that we select 35 of the students who meet the criteria in this region, and immediately we're going to send them to training, so you'll have those nurses and midwives outside. In addition to that, we heard that you were short of doctors and you need 5 additional doctors. We've given the instructions, and by next week, right? Yes, next week. Next week you'll have 5 additional doctors being posted to regional offices. So we're responding as fast as we can, and we're trying to integrate the system as quickly as we can. I'm very confident that the Ministry of Health, in the Ministry of Health, we have the technical capacity. We have not been sparing the Ministry of Resources. We have been very generous in from a budgetary standpoint in making resources available to this ministry, to the Ministry of Education, because we want the best possible outcome for Guyanese and for patients who pass through the institutions. Please, my only hope is that all of us will be part of the Go Vaccine Guyana drive, get vaccinated. We need to be vaccinated. We need to be part of the solution and not be part of the problem. Vaccination allows us to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Please let us do this. Let us help to educate people, and let us help in our own way in taking Guyana closer to herd immunity and giving us a better shot at coming out of this horrible pandemic with the least possible deaths. So thank you very much. God bless you and your families. To our healthcare professionals, I'm eternally grateful for the work that you're doing on the front line in these difficult times. I'm also very proud of your commitment, those of you who have been committing yourself in an amazing way when in some instances we are short of staff because of some strike action and so on. We know that some of you are bearing additional load and burden, and you do it with a smile on your face as if it's not a burden and a load. It will not go unrecognized. I promise you it will not go unrecognized. As your president has asked the minister, I want to know you individually. I want to know you, the heroes, individually. I want to let you know that you are part of a great gift to this country, and we will celebrate you in every way we can. I thank you sincerely for your service, and God bless all of you.
We'll go across there for the sub-turn.
So for those of you who tuned into the Guyanese Critic Live, the president is in the Saudi hospital compound, and there will be a SAT turn-in for a new hospital, new modern hospital facility to the tune of $2 billion. Give me some space in this thing, if you like. Just give me some space in. Some of the nurses could give some space to the Minister?
So with healthcare professionals here, the President and the Minister of Health have officially done the start turning for the new $2 billion hospital at this study compound.
He's an urban child.
So what you're witnessing is an unprecedented move by the President and cabinet ministers, whereas they're on the ground, they're meeting the people, they're interacting with the people, they're interacting with the technical people, they're interacting with the citizen on the ground, they're hearing what the technical people suggest could do to better serve the citizens, and then just to ensure that the citizen is not left behind and bureaucracy doesn't fail the citizen. You have the President and his ministers listening to the people themselves to hear what their issues are, how they're affected, and how they want to be better served. And again, earlier today, this President spoke about the fact that he is the chief servant. He has accepted, and you, the citizen, need to realize and be cognizant that the President is here to serve you. And you know, everything has a little bit of pomp and ceremony, so there will be a bit of an unveiling here of the architectural drawing of what the new $2 billion hospital is going to look like. And again, this is a public hospital, so so the President is outside while staff members of the hospital are inside, and they're going to do the unveiling of what is supposed to be a very beautiful structure, and also is going to be very beneficial to the residents of Essequibo. Beautiful. Wow. This thing is for real. This thing looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. So you got a beautiful, this is an architectural drawing of what's going to be a facility here, modern facility for residents and all across the Essequibo coast. The President is interacting with citizens once again.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's
And I can tell you the President has been on the ground since this morning. I actually left earlier went in to get a power nap and a shower and return. The president has been on the ground all day, so I could only imagine how it's been taxing for him. Everybody know, you know, I'm the guy on the ground all the time, but I did have to take a power nap today because at one point in time it was too much. So the president is waiting for what has become now the modern duty of a modern president, photo ops from time to time. And you got a grandmother here with her grandkids using the opportunity to get a photograph with the president.
See what's going on there? Come out on you.
So, for those of you who have just tuned into the Guyanese Critic Live, the president is basically doing, as a modern day president, a bit of rounds, photo ops, talking to citizens, talking to staff of the hospital. You got staff getting selfie and these kind of things. You know, a lot of people excited to meet their president. You got selfies being taken. Very interesting to see a president having such candid interactions with the citizens, and that brings a lot to bear on the confidence of people in the country. And you even have foreigners wanting to have a photo up with the president. You got foreign doctors here. I think these are Cuban doctors who are using this opportunity. So again, the president and his cabinet is on the ground, and not only being the president for the people and delivering, but the friend of the people, someone you could relate to, someone you could talk to, someone you could get a photograph for memories with. All of this, President Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali. So we're going to be coming back with another live where the president is going to be talking to members of the private sector on the Essequibo coast, and then I'll ask the president this evening for an update as to what he feels, or how he feels, how productive his day has been so far with the citizens of the Essequibo coast. Again, you know, don't be softened by how this cabinet has gone across. You as the citizen have to be very vigilant You, the citizen, have to know what your needs are and what you expect from your president, and by extension your government. Is very important for you to know that. So make sure when you meet the president, when you meet the ministers, you tell them, I have this issue, this is bothering me, and try to ensure that you get a response, and the president and his ministers tell you what he's going to do for you. That is why you that's why you voted. That is what democracy is about. That is what transparency of a modern government is about. So make sure you do not miss the opportunity to tell the president, and by extension his cabinet, his ministers, the president has accepted he is the chief servant of the people, and you must know all who come under him, the intention is to serve the people and serve the people well. The Guyanese Critic from the Essequibo Coast.